Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's Read Aloud. So, last time we left off on Friday, we saw a nice friendship developing between Jason and Catherine. So much so that Catherine agrees to make Jason some new word cards for his communication book, which I'm sure Jason is going to love. So, today we pick up with chapter 5, and today we're really going to focus on the importance of tracking the social issues that we see in our books. This week's book club discussions on Thursday will be about the social issues that you're seeing. So, as you're reading today and Wednesday, really keep in mind how those problems are showing up and how your characters are facing these issues. After we read today's chapter, I will show you which questions I use to track my understanding of these issues. Okay, so here we go. Follow along. Chapter 5. If you don't have the words you need, borrow someone else's. At home, I lined Jason's blank cards on my desk, ready to draw. But choosing words is harder than I thought. 7 white squares, full of possibility. I look around my bedroom for ideas, from the checkered rug on my floor to the calendar of Georgia O'Keeffe's flower paintings Dad bought me at the art museum he took me to last summer. That's my dream, to be an artist and have people gasp when they see my paintings, like I do on the first day of each new month. I have a tiny clothespin at the bottom of my calendar pages so I don't cheat and peek ahead. I want each month's flower to be a surprise. On my door is a long mirror surrounded with colored sticky note reminders. My library books are due. Bring fine money. August 8th is Melissa's birthday. Remember, it takes 7 to 9 business days for mail to get to California. Plan ahead. And even a few reminders left over from school. Fine lunch card, project due Tuesday. I keep those up because it's nice to see them and know that they don't matter anymore. On my desk is the little bamboo plant in the blue swirly dish Melissa gave me for my last birthday, and my computer with the longest, hardest to spell password I could think of, anthropological. That's so David won't figure it out. Across one bookshelf is a row of art supplies and cans, pencils, markers, and paintbrushes. On the next shelf are paint bottles and stacks of paper, everything from thick watercolor paper to filmy sheets of jewel-colored tissue paper, and lots of things I've collected. Shells, rocks, a tiny glass elephant, a blackened old skeleton key my grandmother found in a chest, but which unlocks nothing. I kept it because I like to know how it feels in my hand, the heart shape of the top and the jagged teeth at the bottom, and because not everything worth keeping has to be useful. Between my desk and my bed is a long window with gauzy purple curtains that let daylight through, even when the curtains are closed, and on the windowsill is a row of tiny colored bottles I bought one day at Elliott's Antiques, sunlit purple, green, and gold. On the other side of my desk hangs my bulletin board, covered with drawings and little paintings. A pencil-gray castle I started but never finished, a monkey painted on an emerald tissue paper rainforest, a colored pencil cartoon from 3 years ago of my guinea pigs dancing. I still like it, even if it's old and I could do better now. Well, there's something. I pick up my pencil and write on the first cards. Drawing. Guinea pig. Under my window, Nutmeg and Cinnamon purr happily, shuffling through the shavings in their cage. Nutmeg lifts her head and I look away quick. Anytime they catch me watching them, my guinea pigs think I should feed them. Picking up the next card, I decide I shouldn't do just me words. That day with the guitar, Jason could have used something fiery to say, something juicier than sad or mad. A string of words popped to mind, but I don't want to get in trouble with his mother. So I choose gross, awesome, and stinks a big one. I'm not going to show these to Mom, especially the last one. I don't remember seeing exclamation points on any of Jason's other cards, but awesome with a period doesn't seem right. And if gross has one exclamation point, stinks a big one needs at least 3. My pen hovers over the 6th card. I could do another favorite, like raspberry sherbet, or ice skating, or goldfish. I look past my messy closet. Open closet doors carefully. Sometimes things fall out. To the CDs, cassettes, and books lining the shelves near my bed. But Jason already has book and music, and who knows if he even likes raspberry sherbet. I could pick words about the clinic, hallway, or bookshelf, or magazine. Or I could do funny words like hoity-toity, or angry ones like, oh yeah, or hurt words like, I didn't mean to. There's a gazillion words and phrases I could choose, and none of them seem worth of my last 2 cards. So I push the blank cards aside and draw pictures for the others. Drawing a guinea pig is easy. I sketch an oval, fat and compact, add black eyes, tiny rounded ears, tucked under feet, and a mess of every which way hair. A furry baked potato. The other words are harder. What does awesome look like? A smiley face? A sunrise? A double hot fudge sundae? My door creaks open a couple inches. A brown eye peeks through the crack. David never remembers to knock. It irritates me so much, I tape this rule right above my doorknob. This is Catherine's room. David must knock. No toys in the fish tank, he says. I pull forward one of my 2 blank cards and write in big block letters an unbendable, sharp-cornered David word. Rule. By the time I get to the living room, David's already crouched in front of the fish tank, his smiling face reflected in the glass. Out the window behind the aquarium, I see Mom in the yard talking to the mailman. And in the fish tank, one of my old Barbie dolls sits on the gravel, her arm raised in a friendly wave as though she spotted Ken across the living room and is inviting him to join her. And don't forget the scuba equipment, darling. Barbie's pink lipstick smile beams through the water, her long hair floating around like a tangle of white blonde kelp. The goldfish nibble at it, and Barbie, queen of the fishes, waves cheerfully. The goldfish are used to David dropping strange things into their tank. They always swim over to check out the newest arrival and try to eat it. When that doesn't work, they accept it, along with their usual plastic plants and little castle. Remember the rule. I flip open the top of the aquarium. No toys in the fish tank. David nods, but I'm not fooled. He may not buy into the fish tank rule, but he's got this one down pat. If you want someone to leave you alone, agree with her. You can only put things in here that belong, I explain, like stuff you buy at a pet store. That's all that goes in the fish tank. David leans in for a closer view as I pull Barbie up through the water. Willpower is trying hard not to do something that you really want to do, said Frog. He glances to me, hopeful. Mom says David'll never learn to talk right if we keep letting him borrow words, but his face is so full of please. So I say, you mean like trying not to eat all of these cookies? Asked Toad. Water from Barbie's hair trickles down my arm as I hold her over the fish tank, waiting for the dripping to stop. Through the window, I notice Mom's gone, and the girl next door is in her yard with Ryan DeShane. He points at my house, and the girl spins around. She waves. I drop Barbie to wave back. No toys in the fish tank, David cries. It's wet. It's okay, I say out of the corner of my smile. It was an accident. I'll get her back out. Ryan keeps talking, his hands moving, like he's explaining something. I hope he isn't saying things about me, especially not how I yelled at him when he called David a bad word on the bus. But her wave didn't seem like a making fun wave. It seemed more of a hi. Wet. Glancing to David, I see his pants wadded at his feet. I jump in front of the window to pull the curtains close. David, go find Mom now. I have a pants rule too. Pantless brothers are not my problem. So we find out in this chapter why the author chose to make the cover of the book with a rubber duck in a fish tank, because David enjoys throwing toys in the fish tank. So that's one of her rules comes from. But for today, I want to show you how to track these social issues. So I'm going to go back to my rules doc. It's growing every day. I'm really keeping track of all the elements in my story. This really helps me track my comprehension and make sure that I'm not missing anything important. So like I said, today we're going to talk about our social issue, and I'm going to show you some prompts that you can be using while you're tracking yours. Okay, so the first one is prompts to use while tracking the social issues in our books. The social issue I'm seeing here is, and this is where you want to ask yourself, what problems are my characters facing that have to do with themselves in a social presence, in a social setting? Okay, so like we learned in the first week, these can be issues such as fitting in, bullying, issues with friendship, family, issues with differences, backgrounds, issues regarding poverty and homelessness. Okay, so the issue that I'm seeing here, and I hope you are too, is acceptance. Okay, Catherine is constantly worrying about whether others will accept her brother David for who he is. This is a really big social issue, and it's something that I'm sure a lot of you have dealt with, and I know I've dealt with too in my life. Okay, so this is an important prompt. We always want to make sure we're checking with ourselves. The social issue I'm seeing here is, and at this point in our book clubs, you should definitely be seeing a social issue arising with your characters. And if you haven't, make sure we go back and read again. A second prompt that you should be using is, I've also seen this situation when. A lot of times, our social issues aren't just one-sided. They kind of are linked throughout different parts of our book. They're threaded within our chapters. So I've also seen this issue when it comes to Catherine's own relationships. Will the new neighbor be her friend? Will Ryan leave her and David alone? Catherine's really dealing with acceptance, not only of herself, but of her brother, and wanting people to accept her for the way she is and to accept David for the way that he is. So today, when you're reading for your book clubs, please use these two prompts to track the social issues in your books. The first one being, the social issue I'm seeing here is, and identify the social issue that you're seeing. Once you've identified it and a time where it takes place, ask yourself, where have you also seen this situation throughout your book? A lot of times, authors weave these social issues through many characters and situations. I hope this helped, and I can't wait to see your thoughts in our Padlet discussion tomorrow. I'll see you back here for Chapter 6 tomorrow. Bye!